Hi there folks, welcome back to the IB and Andy Fishing channel. I hope you're doing really well. Bit of a weird start to a vlog this one in that I'm actually recording an intro for a vlog that's basically edited and ready to go. It's just that when I got back home having recorded it, I found that the intro had no sound. And because I make repeated references to the intro during the course of this vlog, I've got to re-record it, so we'll go through it now. So a bit of a backstory to this one. So the previous 3 days before I filmed this vlog, it rained so hard. Second week of March, we had some really heavy rain, lots of thunderstorms, all the rivers came up. Everything was pretty unfishable, it wasn't looking great. I popped down to the Dove just to go and have a look to see how bad it was, potentially to film something, but in all reality, once I pulled up and seen just how coloured it was, I had a feeling that it probably wasn't going to happen. I hung around for about 20 minutes, I was like, should I do it? Should I just go home? Like, am I wasting my time? And in the end, I managed to convince myself that I was going to try and create a vlog, something along the lines of how to catch fish out of flooded summer rivers or something like that. I thought I'd give it a go. I had a nymphing rod with me, a 10 for 8 0 to 2.8 nymphing rod. I had a dry fly rod with me, and I thought that maybe if I could catch 2 or 3 fish in the course of 3 hours fishing, I was going to be absolutely thrilled with that. But I knew it was going to be hard. I just wanted to give it a go. To give you an idea on the visibility of the water, when I was stood knee deep, I couldn't see the top of my boots. So we're talking 2 feet of visibility. It was really, really bad. I thought maybe chucking some squirmies or some chunky nymphs or something like that might work. Maybe I might get a chance on a dry fly, but it was a real long shot. I actually only managed to do just over an hour's fishing time in total during the day because I had to spend the entire time dodging thunder and lightning, as you guys are about to see. But in between the bad weather, actually we had some pretty incredible fishing, but just not how I thought it was going to be. I assumed that there was going to be some sort of hatch vying blues with it being dark and with it being rainy, and also at the moment, at this time of year, we've got a few hawthorns coming out, little black terrestrial, little straggly thing that I know the fish like. So I thought that maybe there might be the chance of a fish on a dry fly at some point, but it was a little bit ambitious. In the end, it turned out really cool. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Just before it starts, please don't forget, we've got the new trout buffs in the web shop. These are looking really cool. We've still got some caps left there in the web shop, abangling.co.uk/shop. We really appreciate all the support. Guys, please enjoy the vlog. Okay, so if we're talking about the kind of water that I like to target when the river's up and coloured like this during the trout season, I actually prefer to fish the shallower water, the edges away from the main feed lines, shallower stuff. The reason for that, obviously we're fishing for sight feeders. These fish need to be able to see the bugs that they're eating to be able to feed on them. So any fish that have decided to feed, it's going to be very difficult to do that in 5.5 foot of water over there because of the colour of the river. Whereas if they come over here to where it's more like 2.5 feet, there's going to be a lot more light getting down to the riverbed. They'll be able to see the food more easily. Actually, my opinion is that the feeding fish will move to these slacks and the shallower edges to feed. You can see we've got a bit of a bubble line coming down here as well. So we've got indication that there's an area there should be food coming down. Nice slack. We'll give this a go to start with. I've started with a red tag on the top dropper and a squirmy on the point. I mean, this is dream conditions for the squirmy. This is exactly what it was designed for. I'm just going to flop that right up the edges to start with. Euro nymphing's a pretty handy way of going about this. You just know that your fly is getting into the spots that you want with the Euro nymphing kit. So that one go downstream of me. Might need a little bit more weight here. Definitely don't feel like these 2 flies are getting down fast enough. Not hitting the riverbed until it's about level with me. It's not the end of the world. Not every single one of these fish is going to be feeding exclusively on the riverbed. Okay, so I already made the first change of the day. I've just put a heavier red tag on. I'd have put a heavier squirmy on if I had a heavier squirmy, but I haven't, so I've had to go bigger on that top dropper. It doesn't worry me too much. Bigger bead, bit more flash. That's down, there we go. That's better. This is all about getting seen on these days. If we can get that fly seen, I think we can get it eaten. A little bit of rain just started. I also don't need to throw a particularly long line when the water's coloured like this. I'll get pretty close to these fish. As long as I'm careful, as long as I'm quiet, I can get pretty close to these fish in coloured water. As I said in the intro, these aren't great trout fishing conditions. I'd take 3 or 4 fish today, I think. That sun will help. If that sun stays out, it just means there's a bit more light getting to the riverbed. Might stir up a few bugs. If the sun will stay out, I think we'd even get a hatch here. And actually, I reckon one of my best opportunities of catching a few fish today may well be off the top. There we go, there's a fish. There we go. That didn't take long. 5 minutes or so. Just fishing the right areas. It's a grayling. I have a feeling we might meet a few of those today just because of the way we're fishing. I thought that was going to be a trout. It looked It looked bronze when it first flashed, but I guess in this coloured water everything's going to look a bit bronze. Yay. Well, we got the line tight, just not the target species. He took the squirmy, it fell out of his mouth before I could show you guys. Continuing to work up this pool, really kind of inching my way up. I don't want to miss anything good here, but actually this bit in front of me is the piece of water that I'm most keen on getting a fly in. This is kind of the bit of this pool that I wanted to fish. There's a bit of a backheady, it's shallow, and it's good refuge for fish. Just as it comes underneath this tree, fully expecting to find a few fish in here. If I don't, then maybe I need a change of approach, or maybe I've just picked the wrong day. Oh, there we go, there's a fish. Oh, there was a fish. There's something in there. Oh, there's another one. Okay, whatever that is, that's a bit bigger. That's what we were looking for. I thought there'd be something in that area for me. I don't reckon that's a grayling. Yeah, it's definitely not a grayling. Oh, he's going nuts. Nice, steady pressure, no rush. Let's try and get one in the net. Not quite sure what fly he's eating. I think he's taking the dropper. It looks like he's possibly taken the red tag. He was exactly where I thought he should be. Just underneath that tree in the back eddy. Perfect. Now he's on the squirmy. He's on the squirmy. Of course he's on the squirmy. This is exactly what that squirm is made for. This is why, even if you don't like them, even if you don't want to fish them, have one in your box. Because if you arrive to a river and it's coloured like this and a bit high, you can put it down the edges, put it through the back eddies, and it just catches fish. It's a really great fish catcher. It's not to everyone's taste. You wouldn't want to fish it during the mayfly season, but you know, in these conditions, you can't beat them. Got his head down. Fair play to him. Nice cold water, lots of oxygen. I imagine these guys are pretty charged up at the moment. Oh, he's gone for the grass. Let's get him away from that. Trying to resist the temptation to switch the rod around and pull upstream. So I don't want to have to pull this fish through this water at the moment with it being heavy and fast. Oh. I've got to change at that point because he's gone for the grass. Come on, but that'll do. There we go. Hey, first one in the net in pretty rank conditions. We've got a little bone of fish there. Oh, I'm not sure about that one actually. That could be a wildie. I thought it was a stocky while I was playing it because of how pale it is, but actually that could be a wildie. White tip to the fins, white tips on the anal fin there. No, I think that's a nice wildie. Yeah, bit of a hook to the jaw. That's a lovely fish, that. Funny looking thing. I'm not 100% sure on that one. You guys let me know your opinions. A little white tip on the fins, white piping on the anal fin there. Yeah, nice fish, regardless. A good start. So I set myself the target of 3 or 4 fish out of 3 hours worth of fishing. We've picked one off there in the first 15 minutes. That set us off to a good start, and as I say, this is just the kind of water I was anticipating we'd find a few fish in. That was a rise. Where was that? Definitely just heard a rise. Just seen the last couple of minutes what I think are a few large dark olives or possibly olive uprights hatching off. I'm starting to hear little plops and splashes around me. Don't feel like changing any flies or anything just yet. I think the flies are absolutely fine. That red tag's got nice contrast to it. Big gold bee catching the light. The squirmy is the one that's catching the fish, so that's staying on for the moment. Could possibly look at squeezing a couple of casts a little bit further across the river. I know it's deep there and it's powerful and fast. I'd be surprised if we touch the riverbed over there. Let's give it a go. That's just in the feed line. I'm sure I've just heard a rise upstream off me again. That started to drive me bonkers because I've not seen it at all yet. Oh, there we go. There's a fish. There we go. I reckon that's another trout as well. Yeah, it's tearing around like a small trout. Get him on the reel again. They are down there. They are down there. It's about getting these flies seen. I must have covered that fish 40 or 50 times in the last few minutes. Only on that one have I managed to draw the take. Come on, bud. Yeah, it is brownie. It is a brownie. Nice. That's what we want. On the red tag this time. First one on the red tag. Nice wild fish. That's cool. That's a pretty little guy. That's what we want. Nice whale brownie out of absolute milkshake. Off he goes. Well, that's satisfying because they're exactly where I thought they would be in this pool. This kind of refuge eddy just at the top of it. It's not deep in there, it's probably knee deep on me. But the fish are sat in there because they can sit and shelter out from that main current. I'm going to keep my eyes open for that riser. Would love to get one on a dry today, that'd be a real bonus. Just heard that rise again, I've got to find that fish. There's definitely a fish rising somewhere upstream of me, I just haven't seen it yet. Okay, yeah, I've seen him now. Let's make a change, let's grab that dry fly rod. Okay, like I said in the intro, that there have been good numbers of hawthorns hatching on different rivers in Derbyshire in the last few days, even with this floodwater. So that's what I've gone for actually to start with. I've gone for a black hawthorn. I have seen hawthorny looking things coming down. They're a bit smaller than what I've tied on, but I'm not too worried about that. Our fish is right up the inside edge, a foot or two from the bank. They like to crunch these hawthorns. This should be fun. That's pretty good. It's probably not close enough to the bank, but we'll let it sit there for a second or two. Yeah, I'll try that again. That was a good sighter, but it was short and wide. Let's go again. That's better. That is absolutely bang on. Come on, bud. All right. Oh, there's another fish just risen upstream as well, so we might have more than one fish to go at. Which that second fish rising has presented me with a bit of a problem here, because I now don't know whether the fish I saw rise down here rose once, or whether it was the one I was hearing rise the whole time. And that's a bit of a problem, because it's a lot harder to line a fish up if it's only rising once. So the second fish is just underneath the tree that forks off in a V shape at its base. He's right underneath there. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what these fish are eating at the moment. I know there are hawthorns coming down, so they will be seeing hawthorny type stuff. So I've seen a couple of other bugs. I've seen what look like olive uprights. There might have been an iron blue or two on the water. So maybe my hawthorn approach is just the wrong approach. Particularly with those iron blues, when they get on those things, they just go bonkers on them. They love them. Yeah, there are definitely upwinged insects in the air all of a sudden. I think I'm on the wrong flight. Oh, no, maybe not. I think I'm on the wrong flight, he says, just as it eats. Oh, hello. Feels like decent fish. That's cool. Even to get a take on a dry in these sorts of river conditions, really happy with that. Nice little stalky one as well. No blind fishing. Found a fish, covered him. Very confidently stated that the fly was wrong and I needed to change it, and then proceeded to hook it. Funny old game. Whoa. Enough of that. Right. Really here, I need to move downstream to net this fish, but if I do that, I'm going to walk out a shot of the second camera, so I'm going to try and do it in this pocket underneath this tree. He's definitely not ready yet. I don't think he's got any clue what's going on right now. Taking a little bit of line. Whoa, it's a big fish. It is a big fish. Plinked over a fin, that felt horrible. I think push comes to shove, I might have to walk out the main camera here because I really want to get this fish in the net. It's a good fish. Bending that 3-weight. Round it goes, good stuff. I think that's a big wild fish. I think that's a big wild brown. Come on, let's get you in the net. Oh, pretty sure that's a wild fish. If it is, it's an absolute belter. No, he's not quite finished yet, but he's getting close. Yes, what a fish it is. What a fish, it is a wildie. That's a beauty, yes. I'll tell you what guys, on a dry, in these conditions, I was not expecting one of these today. Check this guy out. Oh yes. What a fish that is. Absolute belter. Proper wildie. Big head, broad fish. What a trout that is. Oh yes. That's a dove beauty. Absolutely incredible fish. Yes. Righty chap, let's get you back. What a fish. Absolute belter. Yes, there he goes. That is so cool. Well, when I set myself the target of 3 fish, I was thinking all day, not out the first pool, and I certainly wasn't expecting a fish like that. That is outrageous. But it has left me with this other fish underneath this tree to catch as well, so I've kept that hawthorn on. I've just got to get a cast underneath the branches of this tree on the inside bank. Oh, do you know what? That might be spot on first time. That might be perfect. I must admit, I haven't picked my fly. If I see a rise, I'm going to strike. Gee, you wouldn't think a big black fly could disappear like that, but that totally vanished. Probably a bit wide of him. It's definitely a bit wide of him. Took me a few attempts to get the other fish to eat, I must admit. I thought I was going to have to make a fly change on him, and then clearly just got one right. Again, that should cover him. There we go. Just about there. This is awesome. We've got like 2.5 feet of viz at the most. These guys are absolutely going for it on the dries. That was so cool. It's another nice fish as well, just as that rain starts to pick up a gear. Don't care about the weather when the fishing's this good. That was freaking brilliant. Another nice trout. This is ridiculous. Absolutely chocolate brown river, and those fish are looking up. Should tie quickly being upstream of me. It's giving its best, that's for sure. That 3-weight's doing its job. He couldn't resist that hawthorn. Hurry up before the rain starts. I want to go and find some more risers. Ah, it's a lovely fish. It's an absolute cracker. Are we done? Yes! This is brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, that rain has definitely set in for the time being, but while the fishing's this good, we're not going to have too many complaints. There he is. Lovely wild dove brownie. Another one. That's what it's about. Those kind of fish. Time to get you back, chap. There he goes. Well, what a first pull that turned out to be. I wasn't expecting that, particularly the dry fly stuff. You kind of hope that with the conditions overhead being all right, you might get a chance. Also, we've got the hawthorns around, the terrestrials. We're not relying on those hatching out the river. But to get 2 out on a dry out the first pull, nah, never imagined that was going to happen. Got super lucky there. And it just shows you that actually, even in pretty rank conditions, and these are pretty rank conditions, there are still fish there to be caught if you're willing to just go and find them, you know, spend the time on the water, you know. I'm always learning on these days too. Every time I go fishing I learn something, and actually I might have learned here that during a time of year where you've got a decent amount of terrestrials knocking around on the water like the hawthorns we've got at the moment, actually you've got a chance of catching a few fish, and both of those fish took that hawthorn absolutely no problems at all. I am currently sheltering underneath a small tree away from the rain, which has persisted now for about 10 minutes. I've actually moved spot. I've gone onto a different area. I didn't want to stand in the same spot all day. But we've had a couple of rumbles of thunder. I've checked the lightning map on the internet, and it looks like there's a little bit of lightning around. So for the time being, I've basically got to drop tools and wait for this to pass over me. It looks like it's dropped in actually. This looks like it could be set for a while. So I'm going to put the big camera away. I'm going to sit under this tree, try and stay as dry as possible, and hopefully we'll get some more fishing done. It doesn't look great at the moment, to be honest. So I managed to stay sat still there for a grand total of about a minute. I'm not very good at sitting still. And kind of got my skates on a little bit and searched upstream a little bit, and I found an area where I've actually got, I think, 3 different risers marked. I know there's a lot of logs and snags and stuff over there. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to land a fish for hook. One there he is. I'm not entirely sure what it is they're eating. These are great hatch conditions for iron blue duns, so it could well be those, but given that the other 2 fish ate this hawthorn with no issues at all, I'm going to stick with that for the moment. I've got no space behind me for a back cast, so this is going to have to be a roll cast. I'm just going to try and get this to land about a foot or so in front of that fish. That's pretty good first cast actually. No, let's try that again. Probably a bit short. There's all kinds of drag issues over there. There's about 10 different currents going through there. That wasn't my fly. That's all right. Let's try that. Big drag issues here. I need to get the rest of the system upstream of the fly on the landing. Bit of a reach bend upstream. Okay, that's thunder, so that's my cue to get out of the river. I think could do without that. Yeah, I am out of there because that is close. Okay, so just sat and watched that thunder system kind of roll away down the valley. It's kind of going to the east. I reckon the guys in Nottingham or Lincoln may well cop that one in a few hours. I've taken the opportunity to change the fly as well. I've actually put IB's olive dun on. I've changed my shades as well to something a bit brighter. I've put yellow lenses on. Need to be able to see this fly over there. There are numbers of fish. There could be 2 or 3 fish over there rising. I can get a good drift. I think I've got a good chance here, but I don't think I was getting good drifts previously. Oh, it's a good fish, that is. So again, let's try and land that fly the furthest thing downstream. Just give it as much hang time over there as possible. Let's try that again. That'll do. Little mend, keep it over there. Come on, fish. Okay, so this now does make me wonder if there are some iron blues coming down. There's an upwinding set coming down that pool now. I'm just going to watch this, see if that gets eaten. Flapping his wings. That's definitely not an iron blue. That's way too big to be an iron blue. Wow, he made it through. Surprised at that. Just wonder if me dragging a few through here has perhaps spooked a couple of fish. That was a good enough drift. Oh no, there's a freaking log over there that I've caught. Just sticks out the water. There's no way I'm getting that back. So I've taken that as a sign from the fishing gods that the fly was wrong, so I've put something a bit more iron bluey looking on there for the moment. Just see if it makes a difference. There are still numbers of fish rising here. Just like that one. Let's try that at the back. Not quite got that cast right. Okay, mend that into the foam line. It's not going to be a great drift, we'll try it. Didn't quite get my mend there, so what I'm just trying to do is cast this across the flow line and then mend it back into it. It's not easy. There's 2 or 3 different flow lines over there. It's not just a single flow line. I'm not doing a great job of this at the moment. That's it. Surely that one gets eaten. Yeah, yes it does. Right, all those snags and logs and sticks over there. Try and keep everything as high as possible. Oh, he's going for the snag. Come on, come this way. Yes, I think he's out. The snag. Yeah, he must be. Righty. That was freaking cool. That was great. Just to work on a fish like that. Look at the drift, get it right, fly changes. That's what river fishing's all about. This is why we love fishing rivers. Target a fish, work him out, figure out what the score is. Feels like a good fish as well. It's in pretty heavy flow there. Isn't it a great place for me to land this fish without walking out the camera? I don't really want to do that. Yeah, this is a good fish. This is a good fish. I think I've already done well just to get him away from that snag. I think anything else is a bonus here. That little iron blue, that change, I think allied to the fact that was probably the best drift I've had. There's no doubt about it. That was really good. That was spot on. They love those iron blues. I haven't seen many on the surface. They just look like little black sails coming down, size 16, size 18. But for some reason, fish absolutely love them. Trout just gorge on iron blues. You have situations at this time of year when the mayflies start to hatch, and you'll get a decent hatch of iron blues, and they'll actually not take the mayflies, but take the iron blues. There's something about those things. I've spoken to other anglers about this, and everyone said the same thing. Always looking for these sort of conditions at this time of year. Just obviously not quite as flooded or chocolatey coloured. A nice dull grey rainy day this time in May, you've got a chance with iron blues. Still not even seen this fish. We're rattling away there. I've not actually seen the fish at all. Keeping half an ear out for that thunder or looking for lightning, because I really don't want to be playing around with electrical storms here. That's not cool. Unusual fight. It's just stayed down. There's been no light. After that first surge into the snag, there's been no spectacular run or any of that stuff. I mean, that's probably a product of the water being coloured. He's not seeing me. He's not seeing like the inside edges as viable cover. It's just drifting around in chocolate coloured river at the moment. Oh, now he's figured something out. Get the net ready, but I think this is premature. If I could get him upstream of me, that'd be great. Oh yeah, it is a nice fish. Ah, yeah, nearly. That is a good one. This time maybe? Okay, yeah, there he is. It's another gorgeous wildie. Yes, love it, come on. I'm hoping you guys can see something through there. In the time that it's taken me to net this fish and get a camera set up, that rain has got even worse. Give you a glimpse of this guy. It's another total stunner. Gorgeous fish. Proper wild dove brownie that. And they're still rising over there even in this rain. Come on chap. Oh crikey, that rain. Let's get, oh, I didn't think that one was going to last long. He was pretty fresh. Oh, that's now hail as well. I'm getting behind a tree. Geez, well this really has taken a turn for the worse. This is pretty miserable. It's now hail. It's heavy. There's more thunder rumbling around the valley. Do you know what? This could be it. I'm not even sure if we'll get back out after this. There's no, ouch, there's no sign of brightness anywhere. I'm getting absolutely pelted here, even under a tree. Ah, this is so frustrating because we had so many fish rising over there. There's no way I was expecting this amount of activity on the surface. It just hadn't even crossed my mind. I thought this would be about going around and nymphing those shallow areas and trying to find a few fish on the squirmy, on the red tag, on those bright flies. But no, those iron blues have come out and the fish want them. I just need this out, just need this hail to stop. Okay, so the rain hasn't stopped as you can see, but it's definitely slowed down from where it was. And the whole time that rain was heavy, there was a fish on the far bank here that continued to rise. There must be a lot of food going down that far bank. He's in a bit of a pig of a spot, but the fact that he carried on rising right the way through that storm, I'll be honest, I've taken it pretty personally. So I'm going to see if I can get a fly under there somehow. Lots of different flow lines and stuff to deal with. I'm definitely going to keep that iron blue on. Just going to give it a good dose of Hunt's Original to get it floating again. He's right underneath there. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see him rise in the next few minutes. Let's give him a go. I'm going to try and go from downstream of him to start with, but I might need to drop this upstream of the tree and try and drift it down under there. That's short, but it gives me an idea of how far off I am. It's actually not that bad. Tell you what guys, that's got a great chance first cast. I've got the... I'm so glad he didn't eat that because I've got the line caught around the GoPro. Basically got to hit that stick. Ah, that was a rubbish mend. Yeah, poor mend that. I don't think I've really got time for a mend there. I think I've just got to let it go. Oh. Yeah, I've thrown that too far upstream. I don't think he's going to eat that because it's going to drag like... He did as well. I was just picking it up and he ate it. Why is he eating that? Fully dragging size 18 iron blue done and he's turned around and smashed it. That is ridiculous. I don't think he's going to eat again. I'll pop a couple of casts under there. Oh, that one's hit the tree. Why would you eat that? Okay, there were a couple of fish actually just down on this line here. So while I'm out in the river getting wet, I might as well try these drifts down towards these guys. I don't know where my fly is there. There we go. Just down towards this kind of log jammy area. There was a fish rising when I first got here. But it does mean getting perilously close to that snag. Actually, since I caught the previous fish, I haven't seen a whole lot rise through here. Just wonder whether he's kind of upset the whole pool by going crazy in there. Got him. Oh no! I was a little bit early on that. Andy, 2 in 2 minutes. What are you doing, man? You were doing really well up until this. You always need to wait a little bit longer on a downstreamer, and I didn't there. That was just a bit poor on my part. Just needed to hold my nerve a little bit longer on that strike, and that would have been another fish in the net. So we've got a little bit of break in the weather at the moment. Actually, we've got a bit of blue sky. The swallows, the swifts and the martins have come out and they're going absolutely ballistic. So there's clearly something hatching. But I'm very conscious that this weather isn't going to last. It's probably taken about 10 minutes, but eventually I've started to see some bugs coming down. And a couple of fish have risen along this inside line in front of me here. Just like that. That was timed nicely. So I'm going to try and drop some casts up along this edge. As I say, there's more than one. There's 2 or 3 rising right along this whole thing. Stuck with that iron blue. I think that's the fly they're eating. That's a pretty good drop first cast. A little bit short, it's a good sighter. Again, that's probably landing on his tail, but they're fine because it gives me a chance to figure out where the fish is, how much flying I've got out, and that's a better drift over the fish. That was probably the best drift yet. Another rise upstream. Come on, eat that one. Yeah, got it. Yes, that was awesome. He came flying out the bank. Oh, wow. Okay. He's gone that way. Jeez, he's took off. Now he's coming back towards me. Now what are you doing? Now what are you doing? Whoa, now he's going that way. Yep, that's happening. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. See you later. I've got no way chasing him down either because this bank is very, very soft and dangerous. He is, he is going. I don't think it's a particularly big fish, but he's got a flooded river on his side. I wasn't expecting him to go down there. Fine against the weight of the fish and the weight of the whole river here at the moment. On a size 18 barbless hook. This will be interesting. Would you come upstream of me? I was just about to say, would you come upstream of me? And he said, no. Right, now we're getting somewhere. Now will you come upstream of me? Because if you do, I've got an opportunity to land this fish. Putting a bit more pressure on that hook hold than I'd like, but I've got to land it somehow. That's a biggie. Will you come to this inside for me here? You must be tired. You must be pretty tired. Oh, there was half a chance there. Don't usually like pulling fish directly upstream like this, but I don't see an opportunity to net this fish downstream of me. And he's got to come this way. Right, how are we doing here? How are we doing here? Yes, there we go. That's another big fish. The bigs are out today. They won these iron blues. That is another big, wild Derbyshire brown. Quality fish. What a session. There he goes. What a session this is turning into. In these conditions, this is unbelievable fishing. Righty, so from here, I think I need to edge up a little bit, get in position to cover the next fish upstream. There's definitely another riser. If I was behaving myself, if I was being a good fisherman, I would wait for that fish to rise again, but I know roughly where he is and I'm conscious that we might only get another 20 minutes or so before we get another weather system, so oh, there he is. Let's time that nicely. So I'm going to fish for him anyway, but the fact that he's just risen is a big help. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Oh, I've missed him. I did say it was perfect. Ah, Andy. 1 out of 2. So yeah, 1 out of 2 there wasn't bad, and actually that one was a really freaking cool fish. If you'd have offered me that fish when I first climbed in and just that one, I'd have snapped your hand off for it. So very, very happy with that one. Since then, not a whole lot happening, to be honest. I've sat on this pool for about 15 minutes just to have a look. There was one more rise, but it's not risen again. I reckon I'm going to have to get my skates on here, because while the weather is beautiful now, and it is ridiculous, it is like bright blue sky, there's hawthorns buzzing around. If I swing that way and look up slightly, that wall of black cloud is coming straight at us, and I think that's going to be here in the next kind of 30-40 minutes or so, and at the point where that one crashes in according to the weather forecast, that's going to be it for today, because it is looking brutal. I've heard a couple of rumbles from very, very far away. It sounds like we might have some thunder coming with it, so I've set myself a bit of a target of just catching one more fish on dries. I don't know about you guys tell me if you're the same, but if I take out a dry fly rod and a nymphing rod and start catching fish on dries, I just don't want to pick up the nymphing rod anymore. I think it's the same for most people. I just love dry fly fishing more than I love the other styles of fly fishing. At the point where there are fish rising, that nymphing rod just kind of gets kicked to one side. And it's a shame, because I think I'd have probably caught more fish if I'd have done a bit more nymphing today, rather than going up and down the river looking for those risers. But you've got to go after them, haven't you? It's not often you get days like today where there's such a number of bugs hatching, the fish are really interested in them, so I'm probably not going to pick the nymphing rod up for the rest of the day. If I could get one more rise of that, it'd be great. Don't know what it's going to be. The hawthorns are around now, the sun's come out, those iron blues have gone. They much prefer a dark sky to hatch off against. There's an older fly just landed on my sleeve there, hopefully you can see it. So there's a few bits and pieces around for us. We're going to get an opportunity somewhere, I think. I've just got to go and find it before that big weather system gets here. Okay, so I've probably burned about 20 minutes here trying to find a riser. I've got 2 or 3 fish in front of me actually. I actually walked down onto one of these fish and basically trod on its face, and had the water not been coloured, I think it would be spooked by now. Because of the coloured water, I was able to creep away from him right at the last minute, walk downstream and then walk back up. There's a bug bouncing up and down on the river at the moment. He's trying his absolute hardest to get eaten. So he's still rising up in front of me, and it's just blacked over from this system, so this is probably the last chance. That's about right. Either there's 2 fish up here, or there's 1 fish that moves a lot. Because there are 2 areas that I'm seeing rises consistently. Crikey, it's just gone dark. That'll do. Got him. There we go. There we go. That'll do. That was spot on. Exactly where it needed to be. I'm going to keep half an eye on that area. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's just seen me and taken off. I'm going to keep half an eye on that area, just in case it was a second fish, in which case I might, as long as this weather plays ball, I might have a chance to have go both. I'm looking over the back of where you guys are looking from, and it is black. It's absolutely pitch black. This guy's got his head down a bit. You need to be careful here because there's all kinds of roots and stuff on the inside. There he goes. Nice fish. That's a solid trout. That's a solid fish. Try and keep him somewhere near the surface now. That's a rumble of thunder in the background. Ooh, yeah, big rumble of thunder. Come on fish, there we go. Yes, and that will be a beauty to finish on. That is a gorgeous fish. You can't not be happy with those. Let's get him back. Beautiful wild dove brownie. There he goes. Right, let's get out of this river before we get zapped. Whew, talk about just in the nick of time. No sooner had I got my waders off than it started, and you guys will probably be able to hear in the background, it is rumbling away. We've had some serious lightning, some pretty epic thunder. I've actually been talking to one of the other members who had just arrived, and yeah, it has all kicked off, and I think we definitely timed that last fish absolutely perfectly. Another 10 or 15 minutes there and we were going to cop it. That went really well. It certainly wasn't the day I expected. I'll be honest, I thought this was going to be all about, you know, nymphing a few out. We might get the odd shot on a dry, but mostly fishing that squirmy and the big red tag or something big and visible, like I said in the intro. It turned out exactly the opposite. It's not what we needed to do at all. The more that rain came, the more the iron blues hatched, the more the fish rose. It was absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you one thing that is really weird today, that's really surprised me, and I'm not quite sure how to explain it. I've got a theory. So this river's got quite a lot of stockers in at the moment. It's this time of year that all the local clubs kind of put their fish in, and in truth we've been catching quite a lot of stockers with guided clients and stuff like that, and I haven't seen many wild fish. Every single fish that I've caught today is a wild fish, and I've got a theory about that. I'll run this past you guys, see what you think. So I reckon that this is probably the first time ever that those stock fish have seen particularly coloured water. And they probably just find it hard to feed. The water temperature change has probably affected them, and they've kind of just gone and sulked and got away from it. Whereas those wild fish, because they've had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years plus of dealing with, that was a big flash of lightning, of dealing with these kind of water conditions, is they've probably just realised through kind of experience that actually they can continue to feed even when the water's as kind of dirty as it was today. So that's my theory on it. I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think, because it's... Will you quieten down, please? Because it's absolutely fascinating to me. I can't explain it at all, but that's my theory, that's for sure. Guys, I'm going to wrap this one up there. Thank you very much for watching this vlog. Really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Give it a big thumbs up, because I got absolutely drenched and sunburned within 3 hours. To give you guys an idea, I've been here for about 3.5 hours. I've not even fished for an hour. That was an epic session. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this thunder stops pretty soon. And IB and I will see you guys again very soon for some more fishing and stuff. Take care, folks. Bye bye.